how are you guys doing this evening? We are here tonight in Greenville, South Carolina at the Woodlawn Memorial Cemetery. We're bringing you something a little different today, but we learned of some history of someone that I grew up watching a movie about and loved as a kid and was an amazing baseball player, and he just happens to be buried here in Greenville. So we wanted to come and pay our respects and check out the cemetery gravesite of Shoeless Joe Jackson. So many of you might know the name Shoeless Joe Jackson from the movie Field of Dreams. It was always a favorite of mine growing up, playing Little League baseball and watching baseball movies. Field of Dreams was always one of my favorites. And to be able to come and see this is quite remarkable here in Greenville. And so right below this monument here, if you look down, is Joseph W. Jackson. He was born on July 16th, 1888 and died December 5th of 1951. His wife Katie passing away 8 years later. But people have come and left baseballs. There's even a bat here. But yeah, Shoeless Joe Jackson. The story of Joe is quite remarkable. He was accused in 1919 of throwing that World Series against the Cincinnati Reds. He was accused of taking $5,000 to throw the World Series. And, there's a lot of hearsay on whether he did it or he didn't do it, whether he admitted to it or he didn't admit to it. In that World Series, he led the league, or led both teams in batting. He threw out multiple people, trying to score, committed no errors. So it's kind of like, well, how could he have doing all those things? But, we'll probably never know. But yeah, he had an amazing World Series. And then in 1920, he was found guilty and blacklisted from baseball forever. So it's, quite remarkable, that he was one of the greatest baseball players of his time, and then that happened to him. He was born in South Carolina and moved to Greenville, it sounded like, as a kid, and then eventually found his way back here in his later life. I read a story that he actually moved with his wife to Savannah, Georgia, to open up a dry cleaning business. So after moving to Savannah in 1922 to open up that dry cleaning business, in 1933 they came back here to Greenville and they first opened up a barbecue restaurant and then opened up Joe Jackson's liquor store. So there's a really cool story about the liquor store that I read. Ty Cobb, and a national sports writer, actually came into Shoeless Joe's liquor store. After walking around, Shoeless Joe had never mentioned anything about seeing Ty or said hi to him or anything like that. And Ty Cobb made his purchase. And after his purchase, he said, "Don't you know me, Joe?" And Joe replied, "Well, of course I know you, Ty. But I wasn't sure you wanted to know me. A lot of the guys don't." Meaning that after that whole scandal and baseball blacklisting of a lot of the players, stopped talking to Joe. So it was quite the story that, Ty Cobb came in and that whole interaction happened. So there were a total of 8 players that got banned from the Chicago Black Sox that year. And Jackson was the first to pass away. And again, he's buried here right in Greenville, South Carolina. And that's going to do it for this one from us here in Greenville, South Carolina. We appreciate you guys watching and just talking a little bit about the history of Shoeless Joe and his legacy in baseball, and then in the movie Field of Dreams. It was just really cool to be here to see this. So we appreciate you guys watching. I know it's a different type of video, but we really wanted to show this to everybody. So we appreciate you again. Thank you so much. And until the next one, we will see you next time.